What is up, everybody? Welcome to day 3 of the SI Not Found GOATS Tournament number 2. It will be me and my good friend Marco joining you for our first few matches of the day. Say hi to everybody, Marco.
Hello, everyone. Get hyped for our final day.
We have 4 amazing matches coming up ahead, and oh my god, all of us are so excited. Me and Marco will be casting the first 2, and then your losers finals and grand finals will be casted by our good friends Moss and Reston. But you are joined by us for the first 2 matches, and man, we are up for some great Overwatch soon. And these teams have played so well, and honestly, yesterday's matches were so hyped to watch.
Moving from, looking at yesterday, just the winner, you know what, let's bring up the schedule real quick. Let's talk about what we have, and then we'll talk about yesterday a little bit. So looking forward today, our first match of the day is going to be Gigachad Gamers taking on Elmos Elbow in our losers bracket. Really high stakes match there. The winner of that goes on to our losers final and has a chance to move to the grand finals. But after that match, we're going to jump back to our winners finals. We're going to see Fortnite Esports taking on Kung Fu Panda 3, 2 teams that have been dominant in our tournament so far, looking very good. It's going to be a great match. From there, we're going to hop down to our losers finals. So it's not determined yet. The winner of our losers semifinal and then the loser of our winners final, it's a little confusing. We'll move down to there, and then we'll face, and then we'll meet the winner of the winners finals in our grand finals. A lot of words there, but let's take a look at the bracket here, and let's talk about yesterday. And really quick, want to give a special shout out to Solomon for helping us out with the bracket and the schedule and making everything look nice and pretty. Shout out to you, God Gamer. So Nick, we got to cast the last 2 matches of yesterday, which we can talk about our first match of the day between the Gigachad Gamers and Elmos Elbow. Both incredibly close matches. Elmos Elbow managing to beat Whole W, one of the stronger teams in our tournament, 2-1, and Gigachad Gamers beating Burger Flippers 2-0, but the scoreline does not speak to how close that match was.
No, it really doesn't. You see these teams sometimes do end up getting beat 2-0, but the thing is, those matches, both of the maps were incredibly close and incredibly volatile and fun to watch. And honestly, that's all we can ever ask for, is just great and entertaining Overwatch. And all of these teams are 100% providing for that in this tournament. So far, these matches have been nothing but amazing content for us as an amazing and awesome YouTube channel that has decided to put on this awesome tournament. if I don't toot our own horns, but honestly, this has gone on without a hitch, and honestly, this has been so amazing. But we have the best season yet to come.
That's true, Nick. We have going into Gigachad Gamers versus Elmos Elbow. I want to talk about two specific players here. Monway, the Reinhardt player from Gigachad Gamers, came up huge in the match against Burger Flippers yesterday, getting that massive shatter to finish off King's Row and to push them to that 2-0 victory. And then Elmos Elbow, Bread Boy. This just definition of God Gamer, the diva player from Elmos Elbow. Carrie let me know about this after watching the VOD back. Bread Boy ate a quarter of the Graviton Surges coming out from Cyprus, who played Zarya for Whole W yesterday. A quarter of all Graviton Surges eaten. That's not a number you would expect. That is one hungry diva, and Bread Boy has to come out with that same energy, that same hunger today to push his team over and get the victory here.
We'll see if this explosive play and great heads-up awareness will come out in this game as match as well, but we are ready to get into the first match of the first map of the day, and that will be Nepal. And this is probably the most popular map that we've seen so far in this format, usually the one that we end up starting on. We saw Busan a tiny bit yesterday, but other than that, that was most likely the only variety that we've seen from this map. But Nepal is always great to see. This map is great.
Yeah, Nepal is just, it's a great GOATS map. The spawn camping is just a fantastic way to get off to the right, get off on the right foot, maybe boom the mental of your enemy a little bit. But Nepal, it's just, these control maps are so even, and there's so many different routes you can take here, but it's goats we're playing, Nick. 3 straight days of it we've seen people like going to point, people like fighting and fighting fast. So let's see what kind of energy these teams are bringing out in our first match here on day 3 of our tournament.
First match of day 3, it is, and it is going to be an amazing one. I can tell. Both these teams so evenly matched, and the first fight of this amazing map is yet to come. It will happen, and this is actually the first time I've seen this. Elmos Elbow is deciding to take the stairs on the left side of the map here, but they give Gigachad Gamers the point control, which might allow them to get this first point flip, which means Elmos Elbow is definitely going to have to win this first fight if they want to get any meaningful progress. But they have not progressed too far forward yet, but they decide, I believe that is Hyper Knight trying to make some progress. Red Boy does fall really low, really fast. He did get discorded, and Greeny does pick up Holy Macro right behind him. I think Red Boy had to defend himself, so he's not able to defend his teammate behind him, which is going to be a huge pickup for this Gigachad Gamer squad. But oh my god, a huge counter shatter from Hyper Knight, but it's not enough. The team was already mid back.
That was a great shatter from Hyper Knight, but he's probably wishing he kept that up here. Elmo's Elbow just got poked out a little bit harder. You saw that crucial early pickoff onto Holy Macro and Bread Boy getting really low. But Elmo's Elbow did a really good job at kind of evening out how much damage they were doing. You saw Monway, Bonesaw, and Greeny all falling pretty low pretty quick. So if they just push the aggression a little bit more, they're getting the damage they need, and they can really capitalize off of it.
The alternate bank is looking super swayed in the Gigachad Gamers' favor right now, but the only alternate that is on the Elmos Elbow side does get thrown out really early in the fight, but Monway is just too good with aiming those fire strikes. Takes out 2 with a single 1. What a great play from this guy. Again, he's the MVP of this team so far.
Just great usage of ultimates there. And you know, if you're Elmo's Elbow, you just gotta keep going. They had the ultimates to counter that grab. Hyper Knight had a really good block on that shatter there. But you did force Bonesaw to use grab in a fight that was kind of already won. So you're going to see Hyper Knight with the shatter here. He's going to have to get some real big value. But Greeny has that bomb. And if Divas keep coming up big, this bomb could be huge.
Gigachad Gamers allowing Elmo's Elbow to drop down. And that bomb was almost huge because so many people fell to the ground right there. Nyx does end up picking up left. It's a big source of damage gone for this team. Bonesaw does pick up Savage Mafia, so that's a 1-for-1 support trade. But Hyper Knight also does fall to his counterpart, but so does the other Reinhardt. This is a 2-for-2 trade right now. Both these teams even 4v4 on this team right now, but there is Nyx's grab onto the point, catching a bunch of these players. Nyx does pick up his counterpart and Ichirari as well, so this should be Elmo's Elbow picking up this first fight win.
Nyx coming up huge in that fight. It's not just over, but it feels like they should have enough kills here, but it's final fight territory. Elmo's Elbow has to win this fight, or Gigachad Gamers are going to be taking this first round on Nepal.
Hyper Knight able to pick up Monway right as he gets back to the point, so that's really unfortunate, especially because Monway cannot build up any more all charge probably for the rest of this fight. Remember, picking up Greeny is also a really good pick for this team, and that definitely they should be able to flip right now.
Gigachad, I don't blame him for trying to come back and contest, but if you look at ultimates now, Nyx used that grab to kind of save that fight, and now he's almost right back there with another one. Hyper Knight has that shatter online. Bread Boy is pretty far from that bomb, so you're going to see Holy Macro having that crucial transcendence here to try to negate this grab coming out from Bonesaw. But again, Greeny has the bomb, and Divas can still make huge plays.
Hyper Knight is going to have to come up with a big shatter because he's the only one that has one, and it does not give very much value. But the Graviton Surge from Bonesaw is not going to find anybody in that Graviton Surge, but hopefully that bomb from Greeny does, and that will find 3, in fact. That is going to 100% open this fight and probably allow them to win this point.
Just great ult combo there. Like I said, Nick, the Divas have been coming up big, and Greeny is not putting a stop to that. Hyper Knight, a little unfortunate with the shatter. We saw him shatter to the left, and I think he was trying to predict Gigachad Gamers' movement. They went the other way, and, you know, you hit some shatters, you miss some shatters, but that could have been a big ultimate. Regardless, Elmo's Elbow got to brush it off and hopefully try to take Village here because they're down 1-0 here on Nepal. Yeah,
and that's unfortunate. That's just a really bad position for Elmo's Elbow to start themselves off in. They just could not get any offense going. They were not building ultimates up fast enough, and when they had ultimates up, they just weren't used in great ways, so it's just really unfortunate for this team.
Gigachad was able to just get that cleave damage and get a ton of damage in right off the bat. And they would get these crucial pickoffs because the resources just wouldn't be, they'd be so spread thin on the side of Elmo's Elbow to keep everyone up that they just couldn't sustain as long as the Gigachad gamers could. So they really have to play maybe a little bit more conservative and pick their battles.
Both of these teams taking the low ground approach and meeting each other face to face right outside the point, but somehow Gigachad gamers managed to get there first. So again, they are in the defensive position and they'll be able to hold on to the point the moment it opens, which will open right now. They're probably going to be able to cap this before they can get back on. No, Elmos elbow does touch, but Hyper Knight, oh, deleted it instantly. And the shatter already comes out from Manway and probably was thrown in a little late after Hyper Knight already had died.
Big shadow there from Manway to just clean up the fight. Elmos elbow had the right idea. They weren't getting anywhere on that left side, so they're like, screw it, we're just going to rotate around and try to face these guys head on. However, Hyper Knight, a little too aggressive right off the bat, just got blown up, focused down really, really well by Gigachad. And once your Reinhardt dies in Goatsnick, the rest of your team is kind of just, I don't know, they're just sitting pretty. They're sitting ducks, sitting prey, whatever you want to call it. Gigachad had an easy fight there.
Red Boy is not remaxed right now. They are down a D.Va for beginning this fight, and yet he dies. There's zero reason to not jump off the map, especially when you have environmental hazards like that. He kind of threw that fight for his team, going into it pretty much 5v6.
That was a really great call by Gigachad, seeing, hey, Bread Boy's not in mech. They don't really have a ton to work with. Let's just roll over them. No one can stop that extra damage from the D.Va. Well, without that D.Va, they can't stop that extra damage with a defense matrix. So, really great call there from Gigachad. Really easy team fight without having to use any ultimates. And now they're going to have 6 coming online, so this is going to be a big flashy fight.
Gigachad gamers chasing directly behind this squad, but they do get grabbed on Surge onto the wall, and Hyper Knight does throw in a decent shatter, but it does not find any kills. Bomb on the point also does not find any value. There's another grabbed on Surge onto the point, and the bomb trying to come up, but is a little too late. Oh, there was a solo grab by Manway right off the screen onto Hyper Knight, and it does not find any kills. And Holy Macro wins the 1v1 against Left, which is going to be really, really huge. Red Boy also picking up Manway, who tried to go for a YOLO pin and try to take out his counterpart, but it just did not work out. So this should be more red than blue in the kill.
Yeah, Holy Macro saw that Lev was just out of position, caught outside of the point, away from the rest of his team. Pretty easy fight there. It was pretty even for most of it, but you see Nyx coming in big. When Hyper Knight dies, Nyx has to be their main staying point. He has to use those bubbles really, really well to keep his teammates up, continue that sustain. The support ultimate usage was great there from Elmos elbow. Kept the team up, just staggered those ultimates, really great usage. Now they're going to have a rally going into this fight.
It's a really standard form of defense, taking that high ground and deciding to jump down. He decides to jump down and immediately use the shadow, but does not find anything. I don't know if that was a great idea because you can't see the positioning of the rest of the team while you're right above them. But then they did give up the point, which is a really, really big deal because they're already at 95. But Red Boy does find Manway. He was stuck in a grab, but Hyper Knight also does fall. But this is more red than blue in the kill feed, so they should be able to flip again.
Yeah, Elmo's elbow, they're living life on the edge here. They wanted that high ground approach, but they needed to drop down just a second earlier. You cannot let these guys keep taking, because that's an extra 10-15% they just lost out on during that fight. So if you're Elmo's elbow, you need to play this point, play very defensively, and you cannot give this point up for the life of you. It's final fight territory. They just pushed to 99%, so you lose one fight and you lose Nepal.
Yeah, they cannot make any more mistakes, and Red Boy's bomb has to come up big like they had been very recently. He throws it very early in the fight, but that was a good preemptive beat from Protein Shake, and the bomb on point from Green. He does find Ryu. I don't know how he died. Again, these bombs are attracted to these Lucio players. I have no idea how they get found out of position so often. Only Macro's Transcendence does not end up getting a lot of value, and a Hyper Knight cannot get enough healing because Holy Macro's Transcendence is not able to be used to save him.
Yeah, it looks like Gigachad Gamers is going to be able to close this map out here. Breadboy's going to try to contest for a little, but he couldn't. So decent first map there from both sides. Gigachad just, playing the aggression, having better positions, getting better picks. Still, Elmo's elbow wasn't getting completely outclassed, but they definitely were not playing to the best that they could.
I completely agree. I definitely could have seen some more playmaking abilities from specifically this front line. They did not get a ton. They did not get a ton done. Hyper Knight ended up dying very often. We didn't see any of these hero plays coming out from Red Boy like we saw before. Nyx still playing relatively consistent, but he can't be the only one doing a majority of the playmaking on that frontline squad. All three of the tanks have to be working together in order for your team to get wins. Yeah,
like you said with Hyper Knight, he was getting punished a lot, dropping down just a second too early from his team. Bubbles might have been just a little early from Nyx. he's really got to, step this up. They got to keep Hyper Knight alive. And then I think it's going to be a much fairer fight here between these two teams. But if Monway's alive longer than Hyper Knight, then we might continue to see this go in the favor of Gigachad game.
We'll see how this next map goes right after a few minute break, but we will be right back. And thank you guys for your patience. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for waiting those few minutes, and we will be ready to get into the second map of this series in a few. But I just want to talk about that first one, and it's just really unfortunate for Elmos Elbow. They just were not able to get any offense going. They were able to cap the point for a few times. They were able to capture the point once or twice, but they were just not able to hold it for very long because Gigachad Gamers just did such an amazing job of keeping offensive pressure on for so long. And then when they did get into a defensive position where they had to aggress onto the point, they had the ultimates to spare because they were doing such an amazing job beforehand.
I think Elmo's Elbow, they're going back to how they were playing before these past few games in the tournament, right? They're playing a little bit more passive, trying to, maybe play some of these surprise angles, and it's not working out for them. Yesterday, they were able to play aggressive, they were able to play fast, and play off the back of Bread Boy. I don't blame him. There wasn't much he could do there. Hyper Knight, again, Hyper Knight's got to stay alive, and like you said, Nick, these three tanks really need to start working in tandem and pick it up for this Elmo's Elbow squad.
We will see if they can when we go into our next map, which will be Hollywood. Hybrid is always the second map type that we go to in these series, and Hollywood was the pick from Elmo's Elbow. And I wonder if they chose this map because they've noticed any habits from Gigachad gamers that come out they can exploit, or just in general they feel more comfortable on this map, because King's Row is a really popular choice. So I'm curious to see as to why they did not pick it.
Well, we've seen Elmo's Elbow go on this map multiple times now. We saw them play it yesterday against Fortnite Esports. They played it in their series against Hold W, if I'm correct, I believe, is when they started their reverse sweep there. And they managed to beat Hold W on that map and start that 2-1 victory. So I think this is a comfort pick for them. King's Row, Gigachad looked really, really good on King's Row yesterday. It was a little unfortunate against Kung Fu Panda 3, but they managed to win out against Burger Flippers, and I think they want to, make him a little uncomfortable, Gigachad. We haven't seen him on Hollywood recently. So, chat, get your channel points going. Predict these winners. Are Elmo's Elbow going to stay alive in this series, or Gigachad going to close it out with the easy 2-0?
I'm really surprised that none of these no one on this Gigachad squad wants to get any ult charge. They do want to set up on this high ground, which is not usually the defensive position a lot of these teams take. It looks like Elmo's Elbow is going through the high ground because they did want to stuff out any really, really aggressive approach, which is probably a smart decision, because if there's somebody hiding in that corner, you can just gang up on them and get an instant kill immediately. But good decision from Gigachad Gamers to hold on this high ground, because that is a pretty advantageous position that they do not want to give up. But getting through this hallway right here is going to be really, really difficult, especially because Bonesaw has already built up a decent amount of charge, which is really, really good, because he was the one actually holding the front line for a second, taking a lot of damage onto his bubbles and getting a lot of charge. But now it looks like some of those teams actually going to drop down and take the circle approach, and now Gigachad Gamers is going to have to drop down. Still, they were able to get back to the point before this rotation did occur, so great positioning still for this Gigachad Gamers squad. So overall, it just comes down to which team makes a mistake first and which team is able to get a pick. Hyper Knight does fall pretty low from the pin, but Hyper Knight is able to punish that aggression on Monway, and Monway dying first is bad for this team, especially because of that great shatter. Protein Shake, a little questionable. There were only 3 of his members left. Really, honestly, not great all usage. Greeny, how did he remech there? I don't think it's going to matter if he remech, but still, he should have died way sooner.
Yeah, I think Protein Shake might have thought his tanks could have gotten back a little quicker and just wanted to contest a little more. Also, Lep's going to have that Transcendence up, and Iterari is close to the rally, so, Protein Shake's been able to build these beats pretty quick. You have a lot of ultimates online for both teams, but Elmo's Elbow just did exactly what we needed them to do, Nick. They didn't get super over-aggressive, and they saw that Gigachad had the advantageous position there on the high ground, so they just looped around, made Gigachad drop down, give up that high ground, and Monway got a little over-aggressive. They were able to punish as one unit, as a team, and win out that fight.
Revenant Surge comes out onto the corner, but both ultimates come out to counter-pick.
Bread Boy!
Bread Boy! Honestly, Hyper Knight was the MVP of that kill, because he pulled Manway's shield right out of the way. But Manway, double swing, getting 2 picks with a single kill, evening out this fight. So it is 4v4 right now. Greeny getting demech, but he will use his ultimate to be able to remech almost immediately after. And it does pick up Breadboy's mech, who just remeched after his ultimate. So this is a really, really even fight, but I think Gigachad Gamers is going to have to back out.
Yeah, Manway was able to drop that shatter after the bomb. And he got decent value. That was a pretty close fight, but really well played by Elmos Elbow there to just, again, heroics from Breadboy. There he is. His team, they looked like they're on the upper hand, putting a lot of ultimates into that, but of course, Breadboy comes up big, gets those 2 picks with the bomb.
This team is taking a high ground approach. The only person on point right now is Holy
Flank
Macro,
Shatter!
and he's getting pushed. He did get pushed, but Holy Macro did live, but the flank shatter is relatively big, but again, no kills off it. Hybrid is 100% getting guy. Yes, that was a solo grab. Great awareness from Bonesaw. It's easily going to win this team the fight, especially after Ryu is probably going to get picked off right now. No way, Bonesaw, yep, does get picked off, and that is a quick fight.
You know, it's good that Nyx got out, though. Preserves that charge, and, you know, Hyper Knight wanted that flashy play. He did get the Lucio and the Zenyatta down, but the rest of his team were, you know, focused on the front line. They weren't able to push past and really try to capitalize on those kills.
Ooh, really early Graviton Surge kill from Nyx onto Bonesaw. The Transcendence did come in a little bit late, and now they committed both the Beat and Transcendence into this fight, which is probably not a great decision, considering that Breadboy's bomb is about to pick up another kill onto Manway. He had his shield up. I don't know how that
Look
ended
at
up
all those
happening.
assists on the kill onto Manway. Every single player, every member of Elmos Elbow. Now that is what I like to call a team effort. Reinhardts are not easy creatures to kill, and it took an entire team to do it. But Elmos Elbow is still pushing the payload here with 2.5 minutes left to finish out this checkpoint B here and move on to C.
I like how you regarded Reinhardt as a creature. I think that's an insult to this man. He is a unit. He's an absolute unit. And unfortunately, Manway, who is a unit himself, threw his shatter, which would have gotten him big value into Hyper Knight's shield, which is honestly great awareness, but just poor usage from Manway. And after that shatter, he just had to back up and use his shield, and it just got broken, and he got so much damage put onto him. And Greeny,
oh, Greeny.
Oh, Greeny, oh my god, big play to save his team this fight, because now it's faster spawns, and they're 100% going to be able to recontest this. Now Elmos Elbow has to back out.
Yeah, Elmos Elbow, they did a really good job backing up there. Without their Reinhardt, they were just taking a ton of damage. Manway was able to get, or not Manway, excuse me, Hyper Knight was able to get back pretty quick. But the bomb from Greeny, the heroics coming out from the Divas there, really saved that fight. And if you're Elmos Elbow, you really wanted to win that. You invested a lot, even though you have a lot coming up. But now you're only down to 1:30. That took about a minute off the time bank. You want to cap this as quickly as possible going into point C. Bonesaw is looking for this flank grab.
Gigachad Gamers holding up super far, and Manway got booped out, but it was able to kill Savage Mafia even still. It was a good decision on the part of Elmos Elbow not to use any of these ultimates, though.
Yeah, now Breadboy, you're going to see him get staggered out here. If he's smart, he should just try to get back to spawn instead of further staggering himself. You're going to lose that bomb charge, but, you know. All right, and they just picked him off. So if you're Elmos Elbow right now, you have one more clean fight. And you're going to see the Grav kind of close for Nyx. The Shatter, bomb. Breadboy's got that bomb. It's going to be big. But you see the support ults coming up online for Gigachad Gamers. So they have to be able to sustain through this and get value out of these ultimates.
Engagement bomb from Breadboy picks up Bonesaw. Oh my god, this guy always finds kills with these things. But Hyper Knight gets over aggressive. His supports had no resources to try to save him. So Reinhardt trade for this team is not a good position to be in, especially only with 20 seconds left. Manway's shield does get broken, but I'm not sure it's going to matter.
Yeah, they got to get back and touch the point now. Breadboy is extremely low, so they have to get him back up. Lucio's going to be able to get back, but at this point, you have 10 seconds. You just have to touch.
They're going to try to, and this Gigachad Gamer squad is giving them slack, even though they were in the better position. Breadboy's the only one who gets hit by that shatter, so overall, good defense from this team. And oh no, Hyper Knight, he tried to get saved by Holy Macro. It was almost a great ultimate from this man, but it did not end up working out. And now, Graviton Surge off the point. Manway picking up Savage Mafia. This should be relatively easy cleanup for Gigachad Gamers.
Yeah, some really good play there from Elmos Elbow, but they're almost certainly going to get stopped here on Hollywood in Streets Phase, which is weird because we have seen them complete this map or get at least a decent amount of progress here. Gigachad did a really good job at just you know, grouping back up. They lost a couple fights. They said, you know, Greeny pushed the momentum in their favor, said, we're going to stop you here. Then they just had some really, really good alt combos, really good target focus, and they were able to stop Elmo's elbow about halfway through.
And that's a really awkward spot to be held as well. Really awkward because the moment you capture first, it's kind of not it's not even that far they have to go. They only have to go around that first corner after the doors open and you're there, and it gives a lot of leeway for this Gigachad Gamer squad. Honestly, just a great defense.
Yeah, Elmo's elbow has to have a really good point A defense here, so that if Gigachad Gamers does manage to cap point A, that they're not going to have a ton of time to work with. I mean, if we look at where they have to push the cart to, that's like 1 or 2 fights. And I don't know, Nick. Elmo's elbow has to pull out some real heroics here. I don't think they're outmatched. I do think they've stepped up their game, and they're really, they're coming to play here against Gigachad, but they have to have a very good defense here if they want to stay alive in our tournament. Not just the series, but our tournament.
This is tournament life for this team, but they have come in clutch in the past, and they need to prove right now. They need to prove right now that they are a clutch team. And I just really hope that they still pop off in this fight, because if they are able to pop off in this defense, it's going to make this a hell of a map.
See, Elmo's elbow electing to take this lower approach. They want to play safe. They want to play what they're known for, but Gigachad Gamers going up to the high ground, so they're just going to back up and take kind of the same angle they took last fight. Say, hey, you guys come to us, and we'll start the fight when you're ready, but we'll just chill down here until you guys can waste all the time you want.
There's not a lot of range damage on this composition, so being on the high ground is not as impactful as, say, getting Widow on the high ground. Bread Boy, no! He got DMX so early in that fight. But Monway, I don't even know how he died. I don't know if he got Discord Orb or anything like that. And the baby Bread Boy Diva
Bread Boy
is able
still
to pick
comes
up
big
Terraria.
as the baby Diva.
Oh my god! His aim or tracking or something must have came in clutch.
Gigachad Gamers, I think, recognizes that Bread Boy is a threat. So that was fantastic focus from there. They're like, you know what? We'll ignore Hyper Knight for a second. We'll ignore Nyx. We're going to take your Diva out, because as long as Bread Boy's not in mech, he can't build up charge to those bombs. And those bombs have what he's been known for. So really good focus, but they managed to win out that fight. So good play from Elmo's elbow.
Gigachad is taking a super direct and super standard approach for this map, and Elmo's elbow giving a lot of room, allowing this team to walk directly onto the point. I'm not sure if that was a good decision. Oh, Nyx, no, you cannot be doing that. This is too important of a situation to be throwing your Graviton Surges into Greeny's defense matrix. It's a great shatter, but Lep's Transcendence is able to save his team. He used it frantically, which is a great decision, but Hyper Knight is still able to pick up each Terraria, and Monway also dies. Great play from this team. The moment Lep's Transcendence is gone, they capitalized.
You know, Elmo's elbow, I think they're playing pretty smart. They're like giving up space, which normally you don't want to do against a GOATS comp, but they're baiting out a lot of ults and really making them get over aggressive and punishing that. Bread Boy and Nyx, great play there, and just great play from Elmo's elbow in general. Hyper Knight got a really crucial pin onto a Terraria there, but in his bad position, his team managed to peel for him and keep him alive.
Both the rallies get used early in the fight.
Six-man
comes
shatter!
out. Oh, 6-man shatter! Monway dies instantly. No amount of rally armor is going to be able to save this man. Hyper Knight playing much, much better right now.
Fantastic shatter there. Completely negated Terraria's rally and got Monway out of the fight quick. They now have a minute 30 left to defend this point. Elmo's elbow is really stepping up here. They have their game plan and they're executing. And compared to Gigachad Gamers, they now have some ultimates to work with. They have that grab and that bomb from Bread Boy. Whenever he's got bomb up, that is a huge threat. So keep an eye out for Bread Boy. Let's see if he makes anything happen.
Nyx also does have his Graviton Surge. The last one did not get any value because it got eaten by the great play from Greeny, but he has, and these grabs have been so good so far, so that last one getting eaten is a little bit of a shame, but he has another one built up because he's playing really, really well otherwise, staying on very high charge, and he gets it thrown out really, really easy. But the bomb from Bread Boy might be big, and it is relatively big. It does get Terraria and Greeny's mech. Great positioning and great play from Elmo's elbow. Only 43 seconds left.
Really great. You know, the grab on the wall there is so smart because you saw Bonesaw get caught still up top on the high ground. Really hard for him to move his focus down and try to bubble his teammates. Good bomb from Bread Boy. Managed to pick off Terraria and get Greeny out of his mech. And you see Greeny is still demech'd. Gonna get back in the mech here pretty soon, but just this little amount of delay is crucial with 15 seconds left to cap this point.
That's what this team was waiting for Greeny to get back in his mech, because he was pretty close, so he was able to get back in before this fight started. Preemptive beat from Protein Shake, and tries to counteract that with the Shatter. Hyper Knight does, but it's not going to get any value. Oh, no!
5-man Shatter!
Oh, great heads-up play from Holy Macro, and Ryu also using that beat right after. Great heads-up play, being around that corner in that room, so he would not get shattered after his shield broke. Graviton Search does come out, though. Both these support outs were used, so it's not able to save this team, but Leb's Transcendence is going to be able to save this team. Great, honestly, the Graviton Search from Nyx was pretty big, but great heads-up play also from Leb, saving that Transcendence and allow this team to play as aggressively as they want to and win this fight.
You know, if you're Elmos Elbow there, you used a couple ults that I may not have really agreed with, but Nyx, you know, you pushed out that grab, so yes, you have no charge on that. But Nyx has been playing really well and will probably be able to get it up before Bonesaw if his team's playing well. But you baited out the Rally, the Transcendence, and another Shatter. So the ult economy should be in favor of Elmo's Elbow here. And Gigachad Gamer just got 2 minutes back, so they're going to have 2 minutes to cap point A. But they still have to push a decent, you know, they have to push decently far, almost cap this point, about, you know, 3/4 of the way there.
And Elmo's Elbow is choosing to hold up really far and take this fight where they want. Monway easily gonna die. That was a great shatter from Hyper Knight. Realized this man was pushed up way too far and didn't realize his team was not behind him.
That was a really great pick onto Terraria first. When you lose that Brig, you lose the armor packs, you use the Rally, you lose that AoE healing. So really great understanding there. Oh, the Brig's dead? Well, you know, a shatter, you can get a 6-man shatter, you can get a 1-person shatter. As long as there's picks from that, it's worth it. And Hyper Knight, they just took Monway off the cart and are opting for the high ground here now.
Elmos also backing up a lot and giving up a decent amount of room because they did want to take that high ground, which is still a decent position, so it might not be a bad call in the end.
Block.
Shatter is blocked. It is a great heads-up play, and Red Boy's bomb might get some value.
Red
It
Boy!
does! Oh my god! Bomb from the other side. Greeny's bomb does get
The
two, so that is a
Lucy.
2-for-2 trade. Honestly, two counterparts, both dying for both these teams, so that is a 4v4 identical squads right now, and they probably have around equal spawn distances because of the position of the card right now, but this team is choosing to back up, but really early Bonesaw trying to pick off this team, and it was a great decision because Hyper Knight and Bread Boy are able to be taken out right now, and now Bread Boy is trying to contest so he can get respawned.
I don't know. If you're Elmo's Elbow, you're gonna have to start staggering out to this point. I don't know if Hyper Knight's gonna be able to get back in time to touch. You see him here, they just, oh no!
Shatter! Solo Shatter on a Ryu!
No,
No,
they got
no,
off the
got on
card
the point!
after a big shatter too. Oh no.
That was a good play, but unfortunately in that situation, Hyper Knight was the only one who probably could have touched, because I think I actually did notice that Bread Boy did use his boosters to try to make it farther out of spawn, so he didn't have them and couldn't touch because Ryu got picked early. So Hyper Knight was the only one who could have touched in that situation, and he used a Shatter, which slowed him down.
From my angle, I thought even with that shatter that they were still on the cart, but from what it looks like, they weren't. So unfortunate end for Elmo's Elbow there. You see Gigachad end that map in a similar fashion they ended King's Row yesterday against the Burger Flippers, coming down to that last shatter from Monway and just pushing that last final inch there. Unfortunate end for Elmo's Elbow, but great heroics from them. What a Cinderella story in our tournament. And now, going to our bracket, we officially have our top 3 teams in our tournament. We have Fortnite Esports, Kung Fu Panda 3, and the Gigachad Gamers, all still here, still alive.
Oh, I am so excited for this next match that we get to cast. Kung Fu Panda 3 versus Fortnite Esports is going to be our winners finals, and the loser of this match does go down to losers finals, so they still have another chance. This is not losers bracket. This is the last winners bracket game that we're going to witness other than grand finals. But both these teams have proven so much so far. Fortnite Esports, super dominant. They have proven time and time again after winning this last tournament that we put on and just completely dominating every single team thus far through this series that they are a team to be reckoned with and the team to beat in this tournament. But Kung Fu Panda 3 doing a similar thing on their side of the winners bracket and making it as far as they can until they run into the Goliath that is Fortnite Esports. And the best thing that they can hope for right now is winning against the Fortnite Esports team and putting them in the losers bracket and making them play another game.
one thing I do want to mention about, I don't want to take any credit away from Fortnite Esports here, but their opponents in this tournament have not been too, let's see, challenging. Elmos Elbow made an incredible run after their match against Fortnite Esports, so great props to them. But Fortnite Esports rolled over the Peepo Pandas, rolled over Elmos Elbow, and now they're here against Kung Fu Panda 3, who is arguably the second strongest team in our tournament. So, this I think might be a clash of the titans here. This is going to be a big match for Kung Fu Panda 3 and Fortnite Esports. They're finally facing a challenger worthy of playing this, our defending champions. And we have to see if Kung Fu Panda 3 shows up, if they could toss Fortnite Esports around, or if Fortnite Esports is going to continue this dominance.
But unfortunately, before we get to this amazing game, we do have to go to a quick break. But we'll be right back to the action in a few minutes, and we will be right